signs that you have low testosterone. And no time wasted. Let's run it. I just had to actually show this diagram like real quick because when you look at this graph, like you can literally see that the testosterone in men has been on a wicked decline. So like it used to be around like on average 575 nanograms per deciliter. However, now it is quite low. And this study actually blew my mind because it simply said that like the average 21-year-old that is supposed to actually have a very, very high testosterone has less testosterone than someone who was 70 years old in the 1970s. So that simply means that the testosterone is on an evil decline. And most of these things are actually what I'm going to be talking about in this video. So please make sure you pay attention because I'm also not going to just be speaking on signs you have low testosterone. The good thing is I'm also going to be explaining how you can actually change that. So I feel like you should also dial in. Now is your time to smash that subscribe button, like the video as well, and let's run it easy. The first sign that you actually have low testosterone is you are tired all the freaking time. So when you wake up and you genuinely almost always feel exhausted, like when you wake up, it almost feels like the day is already dominating you rather than the other way, rather than you actually feeling like you need to dominate the day, my guy. That is a very, very big indication. So you're having a lot of mid-crash, energy crashes midday. You feel sleepy, very unproductive all the freaking time, my guy. Whew, that is a very heavy sign that you actually, something might be wrong with your T levels. And something that, let's say you are someone who also needs them caffeines. You also need like sugary snacks every now and then to actually like give you a spike or a boost during the day. I would say like that is also a very, very heavy sign that your T levels might be in hell. And with that said, you need to understand why this actually happens, because the purpose for me actually making these videos is actually to improve you and to help you. So why does this happen? So usually testosterone is made during deep sleep, not just normal sleep, but during deep sleep. And your late nights scrolling on TikTok, your wicked screen times, these whole things are killing your testosterone because you're not sleeping properly, and it's not even allowing your skin to properly regenerate. That's why some of you guys also would have bad acnes. And another thing is even your sleep also even affects your muscle building potential. So like your sleep is one of the reasons why you actually be exhibiting signs of low testosterone. So one thing is to actually fix this. You're constantly feeling tired all the time. You need to start getting your 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Like pick a consistent time and try and stick with it. Like reset your circadian rhythm. Another thing would be no screens 1 hour before bed. I feel like the no screens 1 hour before bed is pretty much impossible in these days. So what I will tell you is when you drag your notifications bar, there is a setting on blue light filter. That's what you should click on to actually like I'll say like 20 to 30 minutes before you actually go to bed. And I feel like you should be straight with that. And another thing is when you wake up in the morning, one of the first things you should prioritize is sunlight. Please go get your sunlight because it is very, very crucial you get your sunlight. It's literally going to like indicate and tell your body that, oh, it's no longer nighttime. It's actually time to be productive. It's time to actually, dominate the day. That's the way you're actually supposed to be feeling every single time, ready to dominate the day. So by the time you wake up in the morning, you're getting your good hours of sleep, no screens, or you're putting your blue light filters and you're getting your sunlight. Within a few minutes of waking up, you should be golden, brother. The second sign you may have low testosterone is you've lost drive. So you know what to do, but you actually don't do it. You find yourself like a lot of times procrastinating. You don't even have that drive. You don't have that ambition. The internal pressure to actually improve, to seek pain and discomfort that pretty much summarizes the life of a man. You find out that you actually don't have that. And with that said, like, you need to understand, obviously, why is this happening to you? Now, one thing that really causes this low ambition and always procrastinating, you're always on your bed, you don't actually want to leave, you're just scrolling and spending time. One of the reasons why this happens is simply because of cortisol. So cortisol is a stress hormone. And if there's anything you need to know, I'll just simplify it as cortisol and testosterone are not best friends. They are the two ladies in class or the two girls in class that hate each other. So when one is rising, the other one is being pissed off. So when you increase stress with cortisol, you're going to decrease testosterone. And dopamine overload also kills your motivation, and that's something that you get a lot from scrolling easily, swiping, and being your D. This fries your dopamine receptor and it kills your motivation. Now, obviously, as we said, I'm not here to actually like tell you, oh, you have low testosterone or you have signs of low testosterone, and actually not help you fix that. How do we actually fix it? You need to start lifting consistently, get your steps in, like have that active lifestyle. The next thing you need to stop doing is stop that mindless scrolling, brother. Like, it's enough. As I said, you need to walk daily. One of the reasons why the testosterone levels has been on a steady decline is from the 90s to now is because progressively we've been doing way lesser physical activities. So by the time you can actually just get a lift in, stop mindlessly scrolling, like actually go build something with your life. And the next thing will then be walk daily. Like, get your steps in. It's not every single time you want to sit down and fap to a baddie. It's all right, chill, bro. Even your D is telling you, like, breathe, brother. Like, allow us to breathe. Now, the next point you probably have low testosterone is you can't build muscle. Like, a lot of you guys actually that have been training for years and you can't actually put on size. This might be a sign. So you train a lot, but your body does not respond. You have a lot of strength plateaus, very, very slow recovery, and you can literally not even see much progress. And now, obviously, we need to understand, why is this happening to you? The reason is because, obviously, testosterone is a male hormone, and a more masculine man obviously is indicated, even in the movies, that he's someone who has more muscle. And one of the reasons why you can't build muscle and you also have low muscle mass is simply because you are under eating and you are sitting too much. And that even ties us to the next point, which is, how do you fix this? How you fix this is pretty much eating enough good calories. It's not just only enough to just eat calories. It has to be good and it has to be well. So hitting your protein, hitting your carbs, hitting your fats. Then the next stuff will be training compound movements. I believe in the 80-20% rule. So 80% of your progress will be going from 20% of your output. Your 20%, if you can improve on your 20%, so things like your incline, chest press, things like, I won't recommend you doing bench because it's not really aesthetic, but things like your squats, deadlifts, those compound movements gets you the best of your buck. Another thing would be pull-ups. So if you can actually like incorporate these things. Now the fourth point as regarding low testosterone is the belly fat keeps on building. Now, if your physique is actually always getting softer and you're realizing that fat is being placed a lot on your waist area, there's less definition and you feel stuck, this is a very, very high sign that you might have low testosterone. And obviously, let's go into the reason why. Now, the reason why is simply because when you have a very high amount of fat cells usually will produce estrogen. And estrogen is another bad friend of testosterone. So the increased belly fat is increasing estrogen, and the increase in estrogen is killing testosterone. So how do we fix this? We need to lift heavy, which is good. Next off would then be walk properly after a meal. And the last one has to be improving your sleep quality. So we're kind of like circling back into getting your sleep right, getting your training right, and I would even add in getting your diet right, and going for calm little walks immediately after your meals. Now the last sign you actually have low testosterone, I would say this probably has to be the worst, is a low sex drive and flat energy. I feel like this is really the one that most men actually ignore, because a low libido is a very high sign that you actually have low testosterone, coupled up with the fact that there is no morning wood. I'm not saying you should have morning wood like every single time, but like more often than not, you should either have the morning wood, or at least your stuff should be up at night, because that's obviously during your deep sleep is when testosterone is going to be produced. And feeling disconnected, I feel like the picture here literally depicts the feeling of being disconnected. I don't need to say much. Now, why is this actually happening? So there is a hormonal shutdown from poor habits. A lot of the things that if you actually have paid attention, most of the reasons why men have low testosterone in today is mainly because of a lifestyle changes, some lifestyle choices. So pretty much there's a hormonal shutdown due to poor habits. You are eating the wrong foods, eating things that are very high in fats that have no nutritional value. You're also having binge eating sugar as well, binge eating things like chips. Those things actually they don't fuel your body right. They mess up your hormones. Now, coupled up with you're not even sleeping well. Now, you're not sleeping well, you're stressed, and you're overstimulated. These are the things that are frying your testosterone is crying. So how do you fix this? Sleep is a non-negotiable as usual, and you need to reduce that constant stimulation. I feel like we've flogged enough on training. Now, if you're a guy who finds it quite difficult to actually build muscle, you have done every single thing you can, and it feels like it's definitely not working, I'll tell you to book a call with the link. I'd love to obviously hear from you. And with that said, like, these are things that you should pay very close attention to. You need to take care of yourself because it's from you that every single thing flows. And the moment you can understand that, I feel like that giving back to yourself is so crucial. So please take care of yourselves, kings. And one last thing has to be, if you're watching, please leave a subscribe. I'd really appreciate it because it means a lot to me that in as much as I'm trying to show up to become better for every single one of you guys, I'm also getting that feedback that what I'm doing is not a waste of my time or a waste of yours either. Thank you so much. That's the end of the video. And if you definitely need help, I'd love to hear from you. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you stay locked in.